Right, morning fellas, welcome back to another Villa on Tour video today. I'm doing a similar type of video that I did a couple of weeks ago where I looked at the Championship run and who I thought was getting promoted, but a lot's changed in those few weeks and we've only got 4 games left for the majority of teams anyway. And I just thought I'd look at the playoff teams, look at the teams just outside the playoffs, talk about the top 2, just talk about the whole Championship and just discuss what I think is going to happen because it's getting really interesting at the moment. I think it's a bit annoying that there's only 4 games left for the majority of teams. Like I think Bristol City have got 5 games left, Derby as well, and they've both got to play each other, so that cancels it out a little bit. But it is a bit annoying that every team hasn't played the same amount of games because it makes it a little bit more interesting that they haven't. So I'm just going to start with Villa and then talk about some other teams that I want to talk about. So we've got 4 games left. We've got Bolton away, and I don't even know if that's going to happen. Like I think at the moment, I'm filming this on Wednesday afternoon, and there's been a meeting this morning about whether that game's going ahead. Like Bolton, oh my, I'm not going to get into it, but they are in one hell of a mess. Like their players haven't been paid. I think it's to do with like the stewards and stuff. Like they haven't got enough stewards to cope with the 4,000 Villa fans that are going on Friday, which is a complete mess. But hopefully that goes ahead because I'm probably going to jinx it. I am. But I think it's a guaranteed 3 points. I mean, Bolton, I just can't get over it. If we win as well on Friday, they go down, like it's official. I really want to go to Bolton away because I've looked at the weather forecast, it's like 21 degrees. So shorts out, guaranteed 3 points. It's going to be good. I just pray that the game's on. But I think we're going to win there. And then we've got Millwall on Friday. And then we've got Millwall on Monday, which I think is going to be a tough game. People are thinking it's going to be easy because Millwall are like down there in like in a relegation fight. But for me, it's going to be tough. I've always found it with Millwall. We haven't always been the best against Millwall in the Championship. I know it's at home. I know we're pretty much going to sell out, I believe. But Millwall, they've always been a tough side. They've got a few decent players. They got a good draw away at Sheffield United the other day. They got a 95th minute equaliser, so that's a good result for them. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. That would make it 10 in a row as well if we do win that and beat Bolton as well, so that's some achievement. But it's the last 2 games that really do worry me. Leeds away, Norwich at home. Leeds away is the one for me. With both teams are going to be scrapping for something. Leeds, I'll talk about it a little bit later, but they're going for top 2. They're second at the moment, and they're really going to need all the points they can get to secure that top 2 position. For us, we're probably going to need something there as well. If we do beat Bolton and Millwall, it's probably not important. We could probably take a draw there, but yeah, it's the one for me. It's a big one. Norwich at home, last game of the season. Hopefully, everyone keeps saying it, hopefully they'll have just gone at that point. Hopefully they'll just have got promoted so they don't really have to worry about getting a result. So that means possibly it's going to be easier for us because it's not going to be easy. Norwich have been flying this season and they've pretty much all but secured the title. So now I'm done talking about Villa. I'm going to talk about the top 2 race with Norwich, Leeds and Sheffield United all going for those top 2 places. As I said, I think Norwich have gone, so I don't really need to talk about them. But Leeds and Sheffield United, that is the one for me. That is the big battle. If I had to put my neck on the line, I'd probably say I think Leeds are going to do it. I mean, they're 3 points clear at the moment. And I did put out a poll on Twitter asking you guys who you thought was going to get that top 2 place. And it got over 800 votes. And 77% of you thought that Leeds were going to do it. I think it's the obvious choice. They're 3 points clear. I wouldn't say Sheffield United's form has dipped, but they have had a few iffy results, losing at home to Bristol. I know Bristol are a good side, but they've been so good at home this season, Sheffield United, and that was a bit of an unexpected result. A drawing as well at Millwall at home, it's not the best result. And looking at the fixtures as well, I think Leeds do have slightly easier fixtures. You look at Wigan at home, should be winning that game. Brentford away, should be winning that game, and then they've got us. I'm pretty sure they'd take a draw there, and then Ipswich away, which again, they should be winning. Sheffield United, on the other hand, Forest, I know they haven't been great recently, but that's going to be a tough game. Hull, good side. Ipswich at home, you should be getting the win in there. But again, Stoke away, last game of the season. So looking at that, I do think that Sheffield United have got slightly harder fixtures, which doesn't bode well for them, with them having to make up a 3-point gap to Leeds. So now I've talked about the top 2 race. Here is the rest of the Championship and how the playoffs are looking. You've got Leeds United and Sheffield United there. As you can see, Sheffield United's form, they have had 2 recent draws. West Brom, I think they're going to stay there. It's quite a tough one, West Brom. I can't really work them out. They've had a few iffy results, but they also won 4-1 at the weekend against Preston. Like, they haven't appointed a permanent manager. Who's their manager now? What's his name? James Shan. I've never heard of him before, but he's a coach and he's taking charge of them till the end of the season. Now, what effect is that going to have on West Brom? Looking at it, since Darren Moore's gone, it hasn't had too much of an effect. Obviously, they have had a few iffy results. Losing at Bristol, another playoff contender, isn't the best result in the world, and they were 3-0 down inside 20 minutes in that game, which is not ideal. But I just can't work out West Brom. You never know which team's going to turn up with them. And it could be a big one for Villa in the playoffs if we get them. Someone did actually ask when I put it on Twitter. James says, West Brom not appointing a big name manager could cost them in the playoffs. What's your thoughts? Right now, like, they can't do anything. They've already appointed this James Shan geezer, and they're not going to get another manager in for like the last 7 games of the season. So they've just got to go for it now. They've got to trust what this guy's saying. I don't know. There's going to be some sort of effect there. As I've said in previous videos, sacking Darren Moore, it was a weird one for me, but we'll see with West Brom. It's an interesting one. Keep an eye on them. Villa as well, it's sitting in 5th place at the moment. We've got a 4-point gap to West Brom. I just don't see us catching them. It could happen. I just don't see it happening. Again, we've got a 4-point gap down to Bristol City. That was a massive win when we beat them 2-1. It really did cement our place in the playoffs, and it's slightly psychological as well because Bristol City, I know they've got a game in hand, but as I said, it is against Derby County, so it is a tough one. You look at Bristol City there, they are in the driving seat to get that 6th place spot, but that is the one for me, that's 6th place. I think there's 3 teams going for it. You look at Bristol City, Middlesbrough and Derby. For me, those are the 3 teams that have the possibility of getting that 6th place. Hull City, they deserve a lot of credit this season. At the start of the season, I think they were like relegation candidates. They were definitely down there. And the job Nigel Atkins has done has been phenomenal. I think Jared Bowen has had the season of his life. Grzycki as well has been banging form. That Jared Bowen geezer, like, sign him up, Villa. He's the class act. But yeah, they're not going to trouble the playoffs for me. So it's between Derby, Borough and Bristol City. As I said, the favourites for me are Bristol City, but a few people on Twitter were saying keep an eye on Middlesbrough. Ollie here says, I think the playoff place will be as good as ours if we beat Bolton and Millwall, with Borough taking the final place. I don't know what people are seeing in Borough, but they lost like 6 in a row a couple of games ago. I know they've won their last couple, one of them being against Hull, which is a good result to be fair. Again, Luke says the team to watch is Middlesbrough. Cannot get complacent. I understand that with Bolton and Millwall coming up. I just don't see where people are getting these Middlesbrough dark horse kind of thing from. Like, I don't get it. I think with Derby, Middlesbrough and Bristol City, the 6 games that Villa have had against all those teams, we've won 16-2 on aggregate. I saw someone on Twitter give me that stat, so thanks for that. That's a cracking stat. 16-2. Only conceding 2 goals in 6 games against those teams is good. Scoring 16 as well. Like, I don't fear any of them in the playoffs. I think we're going to get 5th though, and one of them teams are going to get 6th. So unless we get them in the final, we're not going to play them in the playoffs. Right, that's enough of me rambling on. I'm going to give you my final predictions. Right, this could be interesting. For me, West Bromwich Albion are going to get 4th. Aston Villa are going to get 5th. So we're going to play Albion in the semis, which is going to be madness. Like, I'm not looking forward to it. Is it a derby? I don't know, but whatever happens, it's a rival game and it's going to be so interesting. Anything could happen in that game, but I go into it with confidence. I look forward to it. In the other playoff, I think it'll be Sheffield United versus Bristol City, and that's going to be a very interesting game as well. For me, I think Sheffield United will just pip it. I think if I have to put my neck on the line, I'd say Villa are going to beat Albion. I know that's going to get clipped up if we don't and we get smashed by them. I don't care. For me, Aston Villa versus Sheffield United at Wembley in the playoff final, and that's going to be some spectacle. Like, that's going to be such a tough game. We've played Sheffield United twice this season, and I'm going to be honest, they've battered us in both games. Obviously, the 4-1 at Bramall Lane was horrendous, and the 3-3 at Villa Park was horrendous as well, up until the 80th minute, and then they just crumbled. So hopefully they can crumble again. But for me, it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be tight, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to put a poll in this top corner for you to vote who you think is going to win the playoffs out of the 4 teams that are in there right now. It's going to be interesting. I've already said that. So leave your thoughts in the comments, what you think is going to happen in the remainder of this season and as well in the playoffs. I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say. Quickly, there's only 5 days left to vote for me in the Football Blogging Awards, so please do that. All the information you need is in the description of this video, so please go and vote for me. It's really quick, it's really easy, and it would mean a lot. The next video you'll see is Bolton away. Hopefully there's a video for that. Hopefully the game's on, but we'll see. We'll all be there. We're taking 4,000, so it's going to be good. And then we've got Millwall on Monday. I'll be there again. It's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be tough. We don't mind. 8 in a row. Can we make it 10, 12? Who knows? Up the Villa. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you in the next one. Up the Villa.